All right, so we're on our way back to the dock. We might have some unfortunate news with one of our crayfish in the tank. They're fine, they're doing good, they're eating, they're coming out when there's food. But I was doing some additional research last night and I found out that the rusty crayfish have a distinct black line on both of their claws, and I think one of them has that. So we're not able to keep those, we're not able to put them in a tank. Even if we're just keeping them, we're not breeding them, we're not selling them, we're just pets. So we got to take a little bit closer look today. We're about to pull in the trap now. So if we find some ones that aren't rusty for sure this time, we're going to keep them to the side and then do a little bit further inspection later today of the ones in the tank. They're keeping the tank clean though. I added food in there the other day and it got a little milky, but today it looks crystal clear, so they must be just picking up the scraps from the ground and honestly just cleaning the tank. So like I said, we're about to pull up the trap. Let's get that in. Let's see what we got in it. We put bait in it yesterday and tossed it about 15 feet away from the dock. So let's get that in and we'll figure it out. All right, so here's the trap. So we'll pull it in. Not really sure. Yesterday we got 5. So we'll see if we're that lucky today. Not entirely sure. It was sorry for the camera everywhere here. It wasn't too windy last night, so maybe that helps things, maybe it doesn't. But yeah, sweet. So we must have taken all of them from that area. There is none in there at the moment. So we'll toss it a little bit closer to shore maybe. We'll toss it over there. We'll check it out. But I have to figure out what's going on with the one that's in our tank, because it is an invasive species. And I was looking at one of the shorts I had last night. I posted one of the crayfish might have been rusty eye. So we might have to figure out a better way to figure out what they are. And I think it's going to be that black ring around the tips of the claws. So we're going to rewatch that video to really figure it out. We did toss them close to shore here, right by the rocks. So worst case scenario, we just change them out. We can't actually put them back in the water because they are invasive. So we're probably going to toss them on the hook and see if we can catch something with it. We got a couple bass hanging around here by the dock, so that might actually work out in our favor. But going forward, that's how we'll identify the crayfish, by the little rings. And with the claws down here, I guess it doesn't close all the way. It leaves a little gap there. So we'll use those 2 identifiers next time as we pull in crayfish and as we keep them. So like I said, we're gonna go look at the tank again. Poor fella, we're gonna take them out, but they're not supposed to be in here anyway. How they get in here is fishermen will bring them in for live bait, use them as live bait. If they don't catch if they don't use them all, they'll just toss them in. You're not supposed to do that because they weren't in here to begin with. You didn't buy them from the shoreline, you bought them from a store. So that's how the crayfish typically will get into lakes, is people just let them go and then they multiply. The reason why they are invasive is because they're more aggressive than the native crayfish. They'll compete for food and they'll outcompete the ones that are supposed to be in this. So, I mean, it's fortunate, unfortunate. It's unfortunate for the rusty crayfish. They don't really know what's going on, but it's fortunate enough for the crayfish that are supposed to be in here. It helps them out, creates those supplies. And they do kind of clean up the shores. Like you see the bait I toss, it's just honestly dead fish. So they clean up the shores. They kind of make sure there's not a bunch of stuff floating around, and they'll just devour it. So they are helpful in the lakes, and we want to make sure that we protect those guys at all costs. So I'll get that out, and yeah, we'll figure out the best case. As for the crayfish trap, we'll catch them no matter what. We didn't pull any up today. Maybe we need to put some fresh bait in there. We'll figure that out. We'll pull this one up tomorrow, and if we don't catch anything, then we know that we just need to change out the bait. I'm sure if we toss the old bait in with the rocks, they'll still eat it here close to shore. I'm not really sure what else they're eating. I think they eat clams as well. A lot of muskrats in the area break open clams and they'll eat them over here by the rocks. It's a little easier for them to do so. So the crayfish will clean up the scraps and they'll clean those clams. So we'll see. But we'll keep you updated on the one in the tank. I think we have 2 in the tank. The bigger one is the one in question. I think the smaller one though, I think that one's going to be fine to keep in there. The sunfish that we have in there, the little guy, he's doing fine. He's been spurting around. He's been swimming around. I did throw a couple worms in there. I'm not sure if the crayfish got to him before them. So I do have another worm I'm gonna put on the side. He likes to hide in a little volcano that we got in there. So I don't know when he comes out next. He's always swimming around here and there. So hopefully we can catch him out, not spook him, drop the worm in there, and then yeah, hopefully he'll be eaten. Hopefully he'll survive. The crayfish surprisingly haven't eaten him, and I'm glad for that. When I took him out of the trap, I put him in one of the little holding tanks here, and they were all huddled up together under the rock. So maybe they just became friends. Unfortunately, we got to take one of those friends away for now. And I think I'll add another crayfish in there. I think 2 crayfish and a fish will be fine for that size. Maybe if we grab a smaller crayfish too. And then we'll wait on a bigger tank, probably the fall time. Got plans to get something a little bit bigger and put in a different area of the house here. That way we can get 2 different types. We can have maybe a sandy spot with some weeds, and then we can have another spot that has more rocks and the crayfish can hide, and then the fish can hide in the weeds, and they can be a little bit more separated than under the same little volcano. So we'll get that stuff going, and yeah, we'll figure out what's going on.